going to be. Descarado won the Caulfield Cup again. American Trevian.
Hello and welcome to your daily bite of racing from the Victorian Spring Racing Carnival. And today we're meeting Jimmy Choux, the Tatts Cox Plate's second favourite, and a horse carrying the hopes of an entire nation on his back. New Zealand trainer John Barry took Jimmy to Moonee Valley this morning to get some experience around the tight circuit. And his appearance took plenty of cameras away from the regular pre-Caulfield Cup media session on the other side of town. But Jimmy's been stealing the limelight all his life. Winner of 12 of his 18 starts, including 5 Group 1s, he is the horse leading the revival of New Zealand racing after a decade in which their horses have rarely contended in Australia's big spring features. And so far, he has been doing it with his head on his chest.
He's got quite a following at home now, and whether it's his name or his style of racing, I'm not too sure. You know, he's just a real character, and he does love the crowds, and he just puts in, he's got a heart bigger than Texas, which is also great, a great attribute in a racehorse. So we know we've got to try and do it, not only for us on a personal level, but you know, we've got the country and the breeding industry behind us, so it'd just be great to tick the box. It's been a long time between drinks.
New Zealand has a rich history in the Cups and Cox Plate, and as a first-timer, Barry has called upon his more experienced countrymen for advice about the richest weight-for-age race in the Southern Hemisphere.
I've seen the crowds, I've obviously seen some of the great races, and I've been a big fan of Sunline, so I know what it's about, and had a lot of feedback from the McKees, Trevor and Steve, and John Wheeler and Dave O'Sullivan, who I rang too, came with Surface Paradise. So they've been fantastic, and you know, you only got to get one little bit of information from those guys and it can make the difference on the day.
Jimmy Choux arrived in Melbourne last weekend. Today's gallop was hardly strenuous, but Barry accidentally pulled an old New Zealand trick of ignoring the track instructions. Rather than gallop outside the witches' hats, the track riders stuck closer to the rail for the full valley experience.
We might be in a little bit of trouble for it, but we've got the best of the track and he's seen the running rails, so a bit of miscommunication. But he's an absolute pro. He loves to travel and he likes a bit of a crowd that's here today. So, but he's, you know, as the rider said, he's just a pro and done it well. He had a good look, but you know, not much phases this horse. He is a colt, and you wouldn't think so. He's a bit of a character. He knows he's good, but he's no dirt in him at all. Would never kick you, never bite you, give the odd little love bite.
Barry can hardly believe he is such a big player in such a big race. But it's not all luck by any means.
This is my 4th season of training. We've been in the game though for a fair while. The colours I race in New Zealand, we've been registered to my great-great-grandfather 120 years ago. My great-grandfather won a Melbourne Cup in 1916 as an owner, and an AJC Derby, so we've been in it a while, but yeah, straight out of school I was a professional polo player for about 10 years. Went home after the polo career and did a bit of farming, and then sort of fell into the training, just lured back to it by accident really.
7 other horses worked at the Valley today. Lloyd Williams sent veteran Efficient, winner of the 2007 Melbourne Cup, around with fellow Cox Plate hopeful Midas Touch. And Williams Caulfield Cup runner Green Moon galloped with Linton. The Turf Tycoon reported that all his stayers were in great nick, except for At First Sight, which has suffered a virus, putting his Melbourne Cup campaign behind schedule and in jeopardy. Gay Waterhouse gave her Caulfield Cup winner Descarado a brief hit out, along with Fast Clip, while Sydney galloper Sincero also had his first look at the Valley ahead of next week's breakfast with the best track work session.
Do a little bit more work around Moonee Valley and give him an idea of how he's going, you know, with bowling along a bit more. Yeah? Been to 5 Cox Plate to watch him from the grandstand, but it's, you know, it's a buzz to have one here, getting one ready for the race. Yeah?
Over at Caulfield, 4-time Caulfield Cup winner Damien Oliver reported that his international mount Managar was going better this year than last year.
Feels a little bit more mature this year. You know, he was still quite a young horse and physically not that mature as this time I've galloped him. He has filled out a little bit more relaxed, familiar with his surroundings. So I'd say he's in similar form going into the races last year.
Managar, Drunken Sailor, Lucas Cranach, Mighty High and Saptapadi were the 5 international runners among the 23 final acceptances for the Caulfield Cup on Saturday. The barrier draw will be held tomorrow at the Schweppes 1000 Guineas meeting. We'll be there for another big bite out of the Victorian Spring Racing Carnival.